Hi, I'm Lexi Tavares with Healthy Dynamic Life. If you're on a journey to release excess unwanted weight, perhaps you're currently on a diet, or perhaps you've ever tried a diet in your lifetime that made you miserable. In this video, I'm going to tell you exactly why that's the case and the options that you have to fix it. Be sure to stick around until the end of the video where I give you a special surprise. Most of us have experienced the feeling of being miserable while on a diet, or at least have heard of someone moaning and groaning about how much their diet sucks and that they can't eat X, Y, and Z even though they'd really like to. This phenomenon is called cognitive dissonance. By definition, dissonance means tension. So you're probably watching this video because you want to minimize that tension ASAP and return to a state of harmony. Because in a state of harmony, we experience positive emotion states, think thoughts that are pleasant, and in a state of harmony, we can be who we truly are. And when we are who we truly are, we can attract the results that we truly want in a way that feels effortless, easy, and in flow. So that's the good news. So by the end of this video, you will have actual strategies to reduce or eliminate cognitive dissonance. But first, what the heck is cognitive dissonance? It's that tension that arises when we think one way but act another way, or when we hold two opposing views at the same time. For example, you want to release weight, but you cheat on your diet and eat a chocolate donut. You know smoking causes cancer, but you smoke a cigarette anyway. All of us, and I mean all of us, have something we have dissonant beliefs and behaviors about. And some of that dissonance can actually be a good thing because it might motivate us toward a certain action. But too much unresolved tension means that we're constantly at conflict with ourselves. And that tension and conflict can make us feel stressed, irritated, and unhappy if we let these fester for too long. And some of us have been at this cognitive dissonance for years, some of us even decades. So here's what you need to know about reducing and reconciling the cognitive dissonance in your life. Doing some soul searching to determine the areas of where contradiction exists in your life can shed light on the areas you may like to work on. Maybe you are aware that people are and have been successful at releasing excess unwanted weight with numerous different ways of eating, but at the same time, you believe that one particular method is the best and the only way and the way you should go about it. So adjusting your expectations of what is the best and only way might help lessen inner conflict and might lead you toward a way of eating that is enjoyable and also helpful for you to meet your goal. You can use that self-awareness to guide your future actions and decisions. Recognizing and reconciling cognitive dissonance is not always a feel-good experience. Spotting dissonance in our own lives can be painful, embarrassing, and even anxiety-inducing too. And it can be troubling and mentally exhausting to deal with. The tension that gets created when we hold certain beliefs or values but act in a way that conflicts with our belief system generates an internal discomfort that most of us have to subconsciously work very hard to ignore. So consider if you're on a diet that you hate. You have a pit in your stomach every morning just thinking about the foods that you're allowed to eat, the foods that you're not allowed to eat, and you're just counting down the days until it's time to get to eat what you really want. And yet you continue this diet or this way of eating every day. Living with that dissonance probably means you're fairly stressed out, maybe even angry, maybe every day. So sometimes reducing the dissonance can be as easy as reframing your mind. Maybe not feeling so negative about the diet is a matter of recognizing its benefits, such as eating these foods is the responsible thing to do, or I don't love this diet, but I'm learning a lot. So that's one way. And since it's unlikely that any of us can avoid cognitive dissonance completely, it's important to spot it, resolve it, or reduce it. And remember, it's the resolution of dissonance in our own lives, not letting the tension fester part, that allows us to grow. So here are the basic options we have to resolve or at least minimize cognitive dissonance in our lives. A first step I recommend is to cultivate mindfulness. Often we deal with cognitive inconsistencies without even being aware of them. So the first step is to notice inconsistencies between our thoughts. We can raise our awareness through mindfulness practice. And this includes refraining from judgment and instead being accepting of our observations. An effective next step is to challenge our current beliefs. Identify the cause of inconsistencies in our thoughts, right? Understanding our beliefs and values behind the inconsistencies is an opportunity to develop deeper self-knowledge. And this can be difficult and uncomfortable, and it can involve getting additional information or insight. But it's helpful to challenge our beliefs because it can lead us to one of the next three options. One, we can change how we perceive our actions. By altering the way we view our actions, we can talk ourselves into believing that our actions aren't as out of alignment with our beliefs as we might have thought. For example, let's say you're a serious self-proclaimed raw vegan foodist, but you eat cooked foods when you travel. You might rationalize a behavior you know is not in alignment with your identity by telling yourself it's okay if you do it only occasionally, or perhaps by considering the other actions you take as more important, such as, well, I juice every day when I'm at home, or I plant fruit trees. So buying cooked food and your beliefs may still contradict one another, but you no longer struggle with that opposition, so you protect yourself from the stress that the conflict would otherwise cause you. Does that make sense? The second choice is to change your actions. Whatever you do that causes so much guilt and shame might lead you to swear you'll never do it again. So perhaps with the same example, when you travel, you choose raw vegan food. That could resolve the dissonance and make you feel better about the situation, about your actions. And now, drumroll please, the simplest but possibly most difficult option when the belief is very important to you is to change your belief. So for example, if on the one hand you believe it's possible to release excess unwanted weight on any diet, because I've seen a lot of people do that on various diets, but on the other hand, you believe that there is a particular way that you must release weight, maybe the best way, the right way, the I should do it way, well, then you might be experiencing cognitive dissonance when you eat a particular way, but then eat something off plan and feel guilt or shame about it. So in this case, changing one of these beliefs could reduce or eliminate dissonance. One option would be to change your belief that you can release excess unwanted weight on any diet. Two, there is only one way to release excess unwanted weight, and it's the one that I believe to be the case. That's one option. Another option could be to believe that there are many ways to release excess unwanted weight, and to change this belief over here that there is only one way to something different. Like I can choose, I am smart enough and I can choose a path that suits me and my desires, right? There's many options and I can choose one that is pleasurable for me. So all of these roots that we've covered can help us get back to a mental state without the conflict, where you feel like your beliefs, values, and actions are all in harmony. But each way of reducing dissonance requires that you recognize what feelings you have and then doing something about it so you don't stay miserable. Resolving or reducing cognitive dissonance is not always an easy task, but it works. And it takes constant attention to work on ourselves, to continue to push, to create more self-awareness so that we can get the results we want in a way that is effortless, easeful, and in flow. Reaching more consistency in your thoughts and behaviors will also ultimately create a version of yourself that is less harmful, less likely to trigger negative emotions, and therefore there will be fewer problems in your life. So that sounds pretty good to me. Let me know in the comments below which of these strategies you have ever tried and had success with, or which strategies you would like to try moving forward to reduce cognitive dissonance, increase pleasure, effortlessness, and flow, attracting the results that you want. Also, as a thank you for sticking around to the end of this video, I would like to offer you my brand new ebook. It's completely free. It's called It's Time to Feel Great and Release Weight. And it's my gift to you because I really want you to succeed at achieving your weight release goal in an easy, healthy, enjoyable, and sustainable way that's in alignment with your values, beliefs, and desires. So go check that out right now. I wish you a happy, healthy, and dynamic day, and thanks so much for watching. Bye.